Sometimes someone says something and it's like nails on a chalkboard. That actually happened to us just before we hit record for this episode. What started out as a laugh about Canadian slang turned into a raw conversation about those visceral reactions, the ones that make you stop cold, make you question, and force you to ask, am I listening to my body or am I shutting it down? This is a truth-telling, unfiltered, and a little bit messy episode, and it might just shift the way you hear your own yeses and nos. Let's give her. Hi there. Welcome to the Empowered and Embodied Show. I'm Kim Romaine.
And I'm Louise Neal. We're two transformational coaches who are also fellow travelers on the path of growth and self-discovery. And we're inviting you along for the ride.
That's right. We're right here in the trenches with you, navigating the ups and downs of life. And each week we'll be sharing our own experiences, bringing you conversations with amazing guests, and exploring insights and strategies that have helped us find more clarity, confidence, and ease in our lives.
And trust us, we do not have it all figured out. We're learning and growing right alongside you.
So if you're ready to rise above the chaos, doubt, and confusion that sometimes life throws our way,
and step into a more empowered and embodied version of yourself,
then you're in the right place. Let's get started. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Empowered and Embodied Show. I am one of your co-hosts, Kim Romaine, joined as always by the lovely and wonderful.
The other co-host, Louise. That's me.
Yeah. Giver.
Giver. That's what I said right before we went live. It's like, let's go, let's give her. Is that a word in your vocabulary? Do you say giver?
What over the last 4 years, I know what it means now. That is not a word that we used in the States.
Really?
No.
Let's give her.
I mean, I suppose somebody probably said it at some point, like give. No. I can't even make that shit up. No.
That's funny. It's interesting, eh? How we're like, yeah, these little sayings and words that I would never think of not being universal. Everybody knows what giver.
No, and not everybody knows what a toque is either.
I know, that's too bad. They should.
I don't disagree.
It's a winter hat. Like, come on, people.
Okay, so why did that come through when I was like, okay, are you ready to record? You were like, yeah, giver. Like, why did that come through for you? How did you know that was the word for the moment?
Well, I didn't really even think about it. It just came out. Like it was exciting. Like, yeah, let's go. I want to have this conversation today. So let's get it started. And that's just the word that comes out. It was, I don't know, maybe it's a word that belongs to a feeling, right? That's just the feeling.
Well, because you said it was exciting, right?
Yeah. Let's go.
Instead of sure, let's go. Which is maybe not so exciting. It's not that oomph, right?
Yeah, it is exciting. I love being here. Let's give her tar paper. How about that one?
What did you just say? Give her tar paper?
Give her tar paper.
What the hell is I mean, I know what tar paper is in reality, but what is it in terms of a saying?
It means like, let's really go.
Give her tar paper.
Yes.
Cool.
Please help me out, dear listener, if you've heard of this word before, this little phrase. I don't think I made it up.
Give her tar paper. I feel like I'm on the range somewhere. I feel like Laura Ingalls Wilder's going to just wander up to me and we're just going to be talking old timey folk.
No, it might be something that you would hear on Schitt's Creek. Because Roland would say it, I imagine. That's where that was.
I don't remember ever hearing that. He may have, but I didn't really listen to any words he said.
feel like every time he was on screen, I just zoned out. It's so fun. It's funny because like I had a visceral reaction when you said that. I was like, what the fuck are you saying? Like my whole body was like, hold up. I don't understand your words. I feel like not that I should understand them. It caused a visceral reaction. It was really interesting. I was like, tar paper, that doesn't sound like something we should be talking about. It just feels wrong. It's tar paper. I don't know how wrong it could be, but it's weird.
I can't say it's not weird, but it certainly means something to a lot of people. It means let's go right now.
Okay, so
I'm gonna look this up. Okay, keep
paper
talking.
aside. No. But I want to know here, like, have you ever had that moment where, and I'm sure you have, where somebody says something and it is like the needle goes off the record. You go, I just felt something. And my body was like a whole hell no.
So really like deeply feeling it.
Yeah. And it's something like this is, it's not somebody calling me a bitch or something. Sure, I would have a whole hell no about that too. But like, give her tar paper was like a whole hell no. I don't know what those words are and I don't feel like we should be saying them. It was really interesting.
It was interesting. How do you like, what's the pattern? Like when you have that visceral feeling, do you let it out? I mean, you let it out a little bit here, but is that something that you would normally do?
I think depending on the context, maybe. There's a definitive answer for you. It's 100% contextual. Like, who's in the room? What are we talking about? Do I feel comfortable, confident, and safe to say something in this moment? Yeah, I feel like there have been times, I mean, and again, even with people that I know deeply and love deeply, sometimes they will say things that just like I have that visceral response and I don't want to continue that part of the conversation. It is a whole body no. And I need to feel resourced and safe to be able to say something. Here, right, in this context, I did. But yeah, is this just me? Is this just because I'm a feely person? Or
you definitely process through your emotions differently than I do.
Yeah, well, we're designed differently that way.
Yeah. I have a tendency to have those kinds of feelings and then either decide to put them aside because I don't know what they are, and so I'm not going to explore them in the moment. Does it feel like that's something I want to do? So I can put it aside and maybe revisit it later. Maybe I forget about it because, right? I don't know, get busy and I don't go back to it. I want to say, I think I rarely, depending on the feeling, there's some feelings that I will actually rarely speak into. Like I rarely speak into the no's. Today I was speaking into the yeses all the time, right? I can speak into the yes, like, yes, that feels good. Yes, let's do that. Yes, I'm excited, right? Look at me lean forward. And if you're listening to this, you wouldn't see me leaning forward, but I was leaning forward every time I said yes. To me, that's absolutely, I'm listening to my body and expressing what's happening. But a no, not often. Not often do I lean into that into the moment.
Why not?
Maybe it has to do a little bit with trust. Like, do I trust that no? I haven't thought about it. So if I hadn't thought about it, can I trust it? I don't often know how to do that. Getting tapped into my body, that's something that I didn't do for many, many years. And so I feel like I'm on the beginning part of that journey. Only the last, 5-6 years have I started to tap into like, what does that feeling feel like? Where does it come from? Those kinds of things. I would have never, that was all bull hunky before.
I'm so used to everybody saying, not everybody, I'm so used to so many people being like, wow, that's a bunch of bullshit. Like the body stuff, the woo-wee stuff. And I'm like, really? Because if I didn't actually share those words publicly, I'm still showing up with all that.
Sure.
Like that's all my data.
Yeah.
And then I look at the hard, crunchy number data too, right? It's like both.
Right. Yeah, so I think it comes down to trust. Like, can I trust my body to have my back?
Mm. Can you?
It knows. The body knows. The body, right? It
I'm
does.
laughing because like she was nodding her head. You were absolutely nodding, and like as you were going, the nodding was getting bigger. So your body was responding there.
See, and I don't pay attention to that.
Mm.
I really don't. I don't pay attention to what's going on outside of me all the time. I was terrible. I've always been terrible. Like I cannot play poker. I don't have a poker face. Those thoughts, ideas that bounce around in my head often show on my face. And I can't hide it when it comes from a thought place, but when it comes from like a visceral feeling, like I can stuff it down sometimes to say like I'm not really sure that I want that feeling from my belly or from my gut to like show on my face because I don't know what that is. I don't know what it's telling me. I don't know why it's saying or feeling, I guess it doesn't really say, but like, why is it acting out or acting up? I don't often know what that is. And so often in situations, I push it aside. I can't say that's healthy. Like, don't get me wrong.
You knew where
Don't
I was
think
going next.
don't think this is advice I want every dear listener to take as like, oh, Louise stuffs down her emotions, so we should too. It's like, no. It's a habit conditioning that I have that just says like I don't often trust that no feeling. And so I put it aside until I can think through it.
It's so interesting. So two things came through for me while you were sharing that. One is the more you talked about feelings, the further back you sat. You were like, I don't actually want to talk about this. I don't want to analyze them, be with them. No. So you're very well aware of your nose because like you physically pull back from them. But the other is this place of needing to think about them. Do you need to think about your yeses?
No, because it feels good.
Oh, so something has to feel good.
Yeah. And I'm a little bit speechless. Yes. Generally, I think people do. Like, it's like, if it feels good, do that. Like, lean into that. Do that more. I think it's how we're designed. When ice cream tastes good, we have more ice cream, right? Like, we like that feeling. And so when I have that good feeling, it's like, yeah, bring it out, share it.
There's a whole world of emotions and feelings that have nothing to do with feeling good
Yes.
and that have nothing to do with feeling bad.
Well, we're playing the word game, right?
I know your favorite game.
We're using good and bad. And it's like let's even talk about those words.
Mm-hmm.
I like to think about feelings and emotions as being resourceful or unresourceful.
But you just said feeling good.
Yeah, it feels resourceful. It's like, yeah,
But
let's do
that's
it.
not the word you used.
I know. I slipped
Yeah.
because it does feel good.
Yeah. And feeling good feels good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That no, I think what I'm curious about is that no always bad?
Absolutely not. You know, I recognize that in some past relationships, both romantic and friend relationships, had I voiced that no, things would have been very different. Very different. And for a long time, that's safety to me, is to not speak into the no, right? Just don't. If it feels like um and maybe that's safety. If it doesn't feel safe, if it doesn't feel like it's going to add to the goodness in the world, I don't say it. That's part of my story. And so absolutely, I still check myself. Even though you and I we do all kinds of work around language and mindset and somatics and all of those things, I still have that default. It's still programmed in me. And so it it does get activated. Can I think my way through it a little bit? I can. But it's again, it goes back up to the head to think my way to say, can I say this? Well, I need to say this. So let's just see what happens, right? Let's speak into that. No, let's speak into that conflict that I'm so hard trying to avoid. But it has to be processed up here in my head. It doesn't always I can't always speak into it. It's not that easy.
No, it's not. And it's definitely not. Like, we have been societally conditioned, lack of a better word, trained to use our brains to logic our way through anything. And that is where our decision-making prowess comes from. That's what we've been taught. And so to have, and I know you use the information that you get, yes, no, and otherwise, from below your neck. Like, I know you use that information all the time. And yet it sounds like in these sticky, crunchy places where the no might come up, right? Where it's I'm feeling the no. You don't really want to deal with that in the moment because you want the time to investigate. You want the time to understand that no or the response to the no more deeply before you agree to the no. That's what I'm hearing.
Yes, absolutely. And in the process of that, it sometimes can mean that I'm pulling back or I'm stepping out, right? Or right, maybe this relationship, this whatever's going on that I have a no about. And it's a relationship to a person, a place, a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that is, there's a little bit of avoidance there, right? When I'm not able to process through that feeling and I don't want that feeling, then it's like, but I don't want to be in that space or I don't want to be in that thing. And it's like, I don't even want to have to explain it. It's like, I just don't want to be here. And so that avoidance thing can also really kick in and it doesn't allow me to do any of those things. It doesn't allow me to, I don't want to process that. I'm just done. Right. Like, no, thank you.
Yeah. Avoidance is an amazing tactic, right? I mean, when we don't see it, when it's not in front of us, when we're not in the midst of that conversation, if we can step out of it, sure, it absolutely keeps us safe.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps us in that place of perceived control.
Mm-hmm. But we're not in control. If it felt good and I was fine with like that avoidance tactic and I was fine with all of that, great. Then you're living your best life and please don't change a thing. What happens to me though is I start to ruminate about it. I start to think, should I have said something? Should I do something different? Should I show up differently? Am I really being me? Am I blah, 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 on and on.
Start spiraling.
All of these questions, right? And I start to spiral. And it's like that in itself is an indicator to say, hey, time out. I didn't act in alignment with myself. And that's okay. What would alignment look like? And can I get it back?
So tell me what that process looks like.
Alignment or getting it back?
How do you get your alignment back? Let's not go down the full road of like what is alignment yet, but how do you get back to alignment?
It's getting, so first of all, there's work done to know what my values are. And there's work done to have that feeling, like to know what alignment feels like. I can't get back to it if I don't know what it is. And for me, language is a part of that. I want to put some words to, so what wasn't I doing, right? When I'm not in alignment, it's because I didn't act with integrity. I didn't show up authentically. And I was hiding something. I was scared. Sure. And it's not a tiger. Nobody's going to die. How can I, like, what does integrity look like? Or what does courage look like? Or, right? And I get to play with those words a little bit to say, okay, if I had done this, would that be in alignment with who I am? Probably, right? And so now I know maybe if I could relive that moment or have a magical redo, I might do something differently.
So I'm just trying to tie this back in. So how does that, so the no potentially causes you to avoid a situation.
Yeah.
And then you go into this almost values analysis.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
And then you understand what thread to pull you back into alignment, in particular with your values.
Yeah, and that doesn't always mean that it doesn't always mean that I go ahead and like redo the conversation.
Sure.
Like, as an example, right, when I am having a conversation with someone who is close to me and I disagree with what they're saying, or there's something, it feels like, no, I see things differently. I don't always speak up. I don't always speak into that. And it doesn't mean that I'm going to relive that moment or speak into it differently. For me, like coming in back into alignment was like, okay, I can either have a magical redo, try the conversation again, or understand that in the next moment when I have that next conversation, I'm going to do something differently. I don't always have to go back to fix something that hasn't been in alignment. I make almost a promise to myself to say, hey, I'm going to try to do something differently and we'll see what happens. But my default is the harmonizer, right? My default is let's all just be kumbaya around the fire and nobody stir the pot. That's a default.
Well, and that's that's kind of your internal family system, right? It's like, how do we come back to that place of all just sitting around the fire together, even internally, right? Because it's what I'm hearing is it's that internal part, that internal dialogue or conversation that you're having with yourself to bring yourself back into harmony, so that externally you can do that as well.
Yeah, because like if that was the only part, the kumbaya part was the only part of me, that then I wouldn't have had that reaction. Like I wouldn't have had that visceral no, or I wouldn't have I would have just like bumped through the conversation and it was like, yep, I can't harmonize this. Oh well, carry on. And it's like, no, there's when we have these no's inside us, when we have this, like there's a surge of something, right? A chemical reaction that often happens in our bodies. And that to me is like, there's a couple of parts in there all of a sudden are like, no, I'm driving. No, I'm driving. No, I'm driving. Like there's a conflict there. They're crunchy inside.
Mhm.
And so one part of me is like, don't say anything. And the other part of me is speak your truth, man. Who cares? And then all of a sudden, like, who's winning that battle? Well, I don't want to have that battle right now in this moment. And so we all go offline and I carry on.
I love it because it's in many ways so different than my experience, right? So we started this conversation even from that emotional place. Like, how do we process through emotions differently? Human design perspective, I'm emotionally defined, you're not, right? I live with two non-emotionally defined individuals as well. It is different. It is absolutely different. And oh, by the way, a super important channel for me is the channel that connects my emotional center to my throat. So if you don't think I'm speaking from emotions in all that I do when I'm totally in alignment, like that's what I do. It's what I've always done. I speak from feelings. And so what I need to continue to work on in my life is always am I speaking from inside of an emotional, is it taking over? Very beginning of the conversation, what was it? Give her tar paper? Like when I had, there we go. When I had that visceral reaction, I was in an emotional wave. I have no idea why it caused an emotional wave, but it did. And I spoke from it. Not always the best thing to, now this emotional wave was not one that I thought was going to upset the apple cart. So it was okay to speak into it. But there are times when I'm at the height of it where I've had to learn that that's not the time to speak from it. So I've processed through what the yes, the no, the whatever it is that I'm experiencing that's attached to whatever emotion I'm feeling, because those are two different things. And then have to give myself space to emotionally experience. I had to learn to not go to the thinking place, because the thinking place is where I can spin And that then feeds my emotional motor, it turbine starts getting stirred up by my thoughts. And then all I want to do is spew all this emotion out of my mouth.
Mm.
That's my experience with my own emotional wave and how I'm emotionally defined. But yeah, I have to speak from the feelings, because if I'm not speaking my truth.
See, and I'm learning to speak more into that. I'm learning to trust my body. I'm learning to be able to say, okay, if it's a no, do I need to know why? Do I need to logically have more information about what's going on, or can I just speak into it? And that's a place of exploration with me. It's where I explore my friendships. It's where I explore my relationships, right? So that I can say, I'm speaking into this and let's just see what happens.
Yeah. It is societally, we're not trained. We're not taught how to speak from an emotional space. That's something you do in therapy.
Right.
Right? So I always thought there was something wrong with me because I didn't understand how to not include the feelings in what I'm saying.
Mm.
So even as a business owner, right? I've worked with several different writing coaches and, marketing coaches and whatever. And they want my voice, and I'm always speaking from feeling, and they're like, no, you can't do that. And I'm like, you clearly don't know how to write for me then. You don't know how to help me write better, because I have to speak from that.
Right.
If I'm not speaking from that, again, I have no other natural way for me to get my voice out.
Yeah. Do you always trust that? Do you always trust your body? Do you trust that emotion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great question. Yeah, I do. I know when it's not telling me the truth, so that's how I know I can trust it. So it will try to take me down emotional paths that are not quote unquote real, right? Fake news. But I know when it's doing that. And I know, right, the underbelly of why it's doing that. It's doing that to keep me safe. It thinks it's keeping me safe. But yeah, I deeply trust what my body's telling me, much more than my mind. And that has been something I've had to work towards. I know I have a good mind, right? That's not an issue. I mean, brain fog aside, I know I have a good mind. But that's something that I worked at. For the most part, school was relatively easy for me. It was easy for me to pick up concepts. It was easy for me to learn things, et cetera, et cetera. But the language of my body is something that when I turned it on, it was like, oh my God, this is even easier. It was so much easier for me to understand the language of my body. So the language of your body, so we have feelings. That's the one that most people tap into. Am I sad? Am I happy? Right? Does this?
Sure. The 5 top feelings.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's the feeling aspect of it. We have that. But the language of our body, it talks in vibrations. It talks in energy. It talks in stagnation. So if there's something that, for the longest time, I was like, I can feel my body from my waist up and be really aware of it. From my waist down, I had almost no connection to it. And I had to really work, and still do have to work at connecting the top and the bottom of me energetically. It's because we have these dead zones, right? These cold zones. If we think about going through a house where it's like, oh, what's that? I've not experienced it before. So it speaks through these energetic ways, but our bodies also speak through our gastrointestinal system. It speaks through, right, what is our heart doing in that moment? It speaks through that leaning in, the just natural inclination to lean in or lean back. It speaks in all these different ways that we don't ever think of as a language, right? There's that thing of body language, but this is that's external. It's what is our internal body language.
Yeah. Yes. And we like the yes. And we do so much improv. Yes.
Usually when you say that, it means that I went too far.
Well, as you're talking, and so it started a little bit when you were talking about like, your brain, your mind, less the brain fog. And then you started to talk about like your heart and, those physical sensations that go on and, figuring out what it is, that emotion and what that is. And I feel like for me in perimenopause and menopause, like I'm, as much as I want to trust my body and I want to trust those things to say, okay, well, what's happening? I don't always anymore. And so here
Mhm.
I have this relationship I'm trying to heal with my body. Say, yeah, absolutely. I want to trust it. I want to trust when it's a no, to say no. I want to trust to just speak into that. And like menopausal rage is a thing.
Mhm.
I can get super frustrated for no apparent reason, like none. And I'm left floundering because now I'm having this huge emotion that I feel like I need to speak into. And I really have no idea why. And it's like it goes against like every ounce of my being because I don't speak into my emotions. And yet the words that are coming out of my face hole are not kind.
You have a bunch of face holes. I'm assuming you made them
This
out.
one, the biggest one.
So that's really so it is interesting to me. And right, we all have these different experiences with perimenopause or hormones in general, right?
Yeah.
We all have these different experiences. And I deeply believe that even though it feels disconnected from you because all of a sudden this rage is coming out of your face hole, like, but that's your body telling you something.
Well, yeah, but it is telling me something that there's something going on inside
Yeah.
that I am disconnected with. For sure. It doesn't mean that I'm angry and full of rage and I'm a horrible person. It means my estrogen is like off the charts currently and my body's just reacting to something that it's not used to.
And you can also still be full of rage. Like the reality is when we peel back the hormones, right? Which I don't know if we'll ever exist without the hormones, so I don't know how you peel them back. But as we start to feel our hormones shift, different parts of ourselves that we haven't given voice to sometimes come forward,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And sure, there's absolutely the very hardcore scientific reason why that's happening. And somatically, our bodies are telling us there's something you haven't paid attention to. And so now we have to be really loud about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that reframe around like there's something our body is telling us. Again, we might not know exactly what it is or exactly what's going on, but when we're feeling when we're having these feelings, but we're acting in a way that isn't in alignment. Like let's pay attention to that and figure out what that might look like. It feels sometimes like my body is like against me
Mhm.
lately. And right, the creaks, the pains, the shoulders, right? I took a cup of coffee out of the microwave today and it felt like it was 100 pounds. I'm like,
Mhm.
holy cow, like what's going on? And so, but knowing that there is something going on is such a big piece of, I don't want to say coming to peace with it, but being able to find a way through. And this is reminding me of a conversation we've had many times before is where I need to put some language to it. I
Mhm.
need to be able to know what's happening with some language instead of just saying, oh, it is what it is.
Right.
Right?
Right. Because, the difference there again is that language helps you make sense of it. And for me, I have a visualization or an energetic response to it. And I go, oh, okay.
Mm.
Right. And that's not always. I do love the hardcore data of like, this is what's going on. Dealing with, I was sharing with you earlier that a loved one in my house was having a pretty major panic attack earlier today. And as I was being a part of what was happening, I was going through the scientific, like what is physiologically happening in their body that's causing them to respond and react in that way. Now, their body was telling them something, right? Their body was giving them information about fear or worry or concern. That turned into a physiological response that then triggered another fear or worry or concern that honestly was distracting them from the original worry, because like you with the no, they didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
So I could sit there and understand scientifically what was happening in their body, and at the same time experience it from an energetic and emotional standpoint. That's because we're really complex.
Yeah.
And very layered. It's not just about do I have a visceral reaction to the no? It's not just about, right, for you, like I had the no and I want to put it away until I have a space to deal with it, if I deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's not about, it's not just that, because we don't ever deal with anything in pure isolation.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's this coming to understand that our bodies are so full of information. Like it really does know. I was going to say more than we think.
Well, yes, it's true.
It's true. So many levels, but it really does know. And I think, if anyone is finding themselves in a place where they're unable to really understand what's happening, is maybe that's a way, like a place to explore a little bit deeper or a little bit differently, so that we can tap into that knowledge. Like this becomes so important, I think, especially where we are in this season of our lives, like understanding that and like leveraging the power of our body's experience and using it for, I was going to say for good, but using it
For
for,
support.
yeah, and putting that out into the world. We don't have to think our way through every single problem. Sometimes we, with experience in, I'm going to use the word like elderhood, right? Like we have that. It's imprinted in our bodies.
Right. Again, I had a whole hell no with that word.
And then maybe I'm going to say it more. Elderhood.
Ew. Well, sure, you can. Just don't point it at me, and I'm older than you. So there we have it.
Interesting, right? Systems and the words.
They're fascinating. They are fascinating. And I mean, I go back to it. So this place that, right, I know that you love to pull apart the words, and I love to go there with you. They're wonderful to play with and examine and poke holes in. And we have a whole nother language that's nonverbal that came first. And it's a language that most of us walking around on this earth have no connection to. And the invitation here is to begin a dialogue with your body. The number of people who, when I ask them the first time, I'm like, what are you experiencing in your body in this moment? They're like, I feel sad. Nope, that's not experiencing anything in your body. You're telling me the emotion that you're feeling. What is the sensation that you're experiencing? Because we're constantly experiencing sensation, but we devalue that because it's not connected to this cognitive place of quote unquote understanding. And yet we know, right? Like there's whole industries based on if just getting you to change your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So those are malleable and they're not always telling you the truth. So maybe have a backup system.
And to really recognize that it is a process and that it's not a switch.
No.
It's not something that we can figure out, oh, if I only could just flick the switch. And I think this is where, right, like I called them earlier, like the snake oil salesmen come in, where it's like, here, I have something that's going to help you flip the switch. And you're just going to, right, like a snap of the fingers, and you're going to be connected and feeling whole again and moving in a way you never moved before. And it really is a process. And probably for me, I can see this actually being decades from now before I'm understanding my body in a way where I can trust it. Maybe, right? And it depends. It depends on a lot of things, but I wouldn't be surprised if it took me that long, and that's okay. I'm in here learning more and more about myself and who I am and who I want to be. And that's a fantastic place to be. I don't need to figure it all out, because then, like, where's the journey? Where's the fun in that road trip? Like, there's none.
That would be a really boring road trip. because we'd all be on the same one all the time. Because that's the other thing is, sure, you can, if that feels helpful to you, to continue to learn the dialogue, learn the language of your body, learn how to trust it and listen to it in new and different ways. And there are other people in the world that can help you when you're not as connected. Like, right? I am super connected. There are people that are more connected than I am. And there's lots of them that are more connected than I am. And I learn from them how to deepen my experience or not. I go to them and I say, right, help me here, because I know that there's something that I could be doing differently. And they show me the way. And it doesn't mean I'm going to do it that way on my own or ever again.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's the same way with thoughts. Like, we're all on this journey in different ways. And that's what's beautiful. Imagine if we were all on the same road trip all the time and it's just the same route.
Right. That's congestion.
Suck. I wouldn't want to take that road trip.
That's a traffic jam.
It is a traffic jam. Manhattan at rush hour.
Or the GTA area. For those
No, I don't even want to go. That is worse. That is absolutely worse. GTA. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what are you taking from this conversation today?
I think it's a lot of that, the last part of how different, it's a reminder of how different we are, right? Because even in the beginning, when you ask that question of, do you trust your body? And I'm like, yes. Trust it more than I trust my mind most times. How different our experiences are, and that neither one of them is quote unquote better or right or whatever. It just is. And how cool it is to be able to learn from each other. Mm-hmm. And understand the different types of experiences that we're having. I mean, that just feels so rich to me. So that's what I'm taking with me today.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's just in having this conversation, it brings intentionality back into that, right? And whatever that looks like for anyone, when we're intentional, that's where we make the change. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it was a good reminder to be aware. For me, it's an awareness of, right, where am I intentional around? How am I learning to trust my body? And what does that, I was going to say, what does that look like? I was going to say, what does that feel like instead? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thanks for the conversation today.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks for, kicking us off with, say it again.
Giver tar paper.
Giver, I almost said getter. Giver tar paper.
Tar paper. Yeah. Right. I tried to Google it, didn't come up.
Yeah, I think you made it up.
No, I don't think so.
We'll include it in the show notes. We'll figure that out.
Absolutely. What do you have going on lately, Kim? What do you want to share?
All the things. I have all the things going on, as I always do. We are experiencing wonderfulness inside the Rising Visionaries. It's a lovely place if you are want to explore what it means to have embodied leadership in your business, in your life, in your organization, and really expanding the heck out of my Strengthscape system right now and really enjoying that. So there'll be links to all those. How about for you?
I just want to invite people to go over to Substack and check out the RAG, my little newsletter, just about how we're dealing with midlife and menopause and all of those things, and how to not take it lying down is really about it. How do we be intentional about our self-care during this time?
And I love that every time you say the title of your Substack, you giggle.
I know. It's like, that's pretty cool. I like that. The RAG, like, it has so many meanings. Think about it for a moment. Yeah, it's awesome.
Thanks, everyone, for tuning in and for being part of this conversation. And we hope that you're having conversations like this on your time.
Absolutely. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.
And that's all for this week's episode of the Empowered and Embodied Show. We hope today's episode has sparked something within you. Remember, we're all on this journey together. If something did resonate with you today, why not share it with a friend who might need to hear it too? You can find us everywhere you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you're feeling generous, leave a review. Your feedback not only helps others find the show, but also helps us understand what's most valuable to you. Until next time, be kind to yourself, stay curious, and remember, we're walking right alongside you. Thanks for being part of our community.